7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck.
Was it worth the wait? I think last night it probably was. To the winners go the spoils. Bring out your cliche. The waiting is the hardest part. Thank you, Tom Petty. The Suns are in, and it's almost more of the story that Chris Paul is in after 16 years in the NBA and a dominant victory by Phoenix last night. JJ and I both agreed. Obviously, if Phoenix won yesterday, they're moving on, but we agreed the winner of that series was going to come out of last night's game, and if the Clippers won, that was going to be tough. Chris Paul answered the bell. He had 41 points, he had 8 assists, and he led his team to a dominant victory over the Clippers at Staples Center. 130-103 was the final number. Clippers are out. Suns win the series 4-2. They sit back. They are the healthiest team in the playoffs and will get time to rest and watch Milwaukee and Atlanta beat up on each other. It's the opening drive. Good morning to you. Welcome to Thursday. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. How you living?
Living good, and you got the answer in a big way of which Paul was going to step up.
Yeah, it was all Paul. Which one would it be? It was big for both of them. I think while we agreed yesterday that it was a big game for both of them, Chris Paul, Paul George, that it probably in the long run was bigger, more important for Chris Paul because he's running out of time and will he get here again? Paul George may, and we'll get into Paul George, who had 21 points on 6 for 19 shooting. But Chris Paul answered the bell. It was, if there's doubts, I think he erased them. And it's funny how the conversation on him has swung. Oh, he may get out of there and go get paid more than the $42 million. He may opt out. Well, he may not have any choices. Now it's swung back the other way, right? Leader, Chris Paul. Bottom line is going to the NBA Finals and playing for a championship.
Chris Paul has dominated the mid-range game throughout the postseason. Last night, 7 of 8 from 3 to go along with the consistency that he put in back-to-back games with his shooting and coming back from missing the first few games of this series, shook off that rust, looked like his normal self this postseason, which has been an unbelievable player. And to do that in the second half of the season on the line, that is what we're talking about. And these are the performances we've seen throughout the postseason with teams, whether it's injuries or understanding the moment. The Suns did, and they were led by CP3, who wanted to put all that behind him, and you saw how emotional he was at the end of the game, finally saying Chris Paul to the NBA Finals. And that's a performance that we're looking for from players of his caliber, and got it in an unbelievable set, because we're talking closeout game on the road, 41 points for CP3. Yeah, that'll go down as one of the best games he's ever played.
16 of 24 from the field, 7 of 8 from three-point land. He had 8 assists. He had no turnovers, did Chris Paul, in a 41-point effort to lead the Suns back to the finals for the first time in 28 years. Devin Booker helped out with 22 points. Jameson Crowder had 19 points. DeAndre Ayton had 16 points, 17 rebounds to go to... Look, the Suns have been the most consistent. Go back, and you can have the conversation. They beat a Laker team that was without Anthony Davis. They beat a Nuggets team that was without Jamal Murray. They beat a Clippers team that was without Kawhi Leonard. All that's true. What do you want them to do? Like, I heard conversation yesterday. I told you, I refuse to sit here and put the asterisk on it. I won't do that. Whoever the champion this year is going to win the battle of attrition. Now, is there conversation about injuries so you can call up the season? Kawhi Leonard's out. Should we stop and wait for him to come back?
No.
Suns didn't do anything except for go out and play who was in front of them. Crazy part is when they were shut down without their guy, when he was down for 2 games in COVID protocol, they won their 2. Now, the Clippers won their share without Kawhi. But what are they supposed to do? You want them to shut it down? Is Milwaukee supposed to shut it down now that Giannis isn't there? Does that make what the Hawks are going to potentially do any less impressive? Somebody's got to play. There's no asterisks. There's a story. There's a story to every season. This isn't the first time The guys have got through teams without their best players. LeBron did it. Steph Curry did it. I mean, they all did it, right? Injuries happen, man. It's a long season.
And at this point, if that's all you want to talk about, you're not watching, because it's hit every team. And so it's not just one team that hasn't had something to overcome. At this point in time, sure, the Suns are the healthiest when it comes to their stars. But you just said it. We saw Chris Paul not play for 2 games, the uncertainty. They won those games. We've seen so many other teams step up. The Clippers weren't supposed to be here. They weren't supposed to even win a game against the Utah Jazz, let alone 2 to come back and win that series when Kawhi Leonard went down. And then to be in this position, forcing a Game 6. We saw what the Atlanta Hawks did in the first half before Giannis' injury in the third. Teams are responding in an incredible way. And right now, the Phoenix Suns are in the best position they've ever been in as a franchise, given the landscape of the NBA when it comes to other teams. But you still got to go out there and perform. And CP3 gave us the biggest game of his career.
All right, here's what's going on today. We got a guest list for you coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. We will talk with Danny Brown, the head coach at Siembieda boys basketball, son of Mike Brown, who passed away yesterday. And that news kind of started surfacing while we were on the air yesterday. We talked quite a bit about Mike. And the tributes were coming in from everywhere yesterday. And I think maybe some of you learned a lot about Mike. I actually did too. But a man who won 20 state championships in 6 in a row, which is nuts. And his sons, of course, Greg and Danny, are still coaching in this area. So Danny's going to be with us, and we're going to talk a little bit about the family and his dad, and legend who coached so many great people and men and touched so many lives. So that'll be at 8 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning, Robert Kent's going to be with us. Robert Kent, JJ, is the new head coach of the Duke City Gladiators. They announced yesterday that Martino Theus had been let go. Robert Kent is a quarterback who came in the 2019 season, kind of saved their year. That was the year Donovan Portery was here. He was let go. Robert Kent came in and led him to a championship in the IFL. So Robert Kent will be the head coach moving forward and this weekend when Dominic Bramante and Northern Arizona come to Rio Rancho. Dominic Bramante, of course, the former coach of the Gladiators. So we've got a little bit of drama out, and it should be fun. And tickets are available. You can go to DukeCityGladiators.com, go to Ticketmaster, and get out and see the Gladiators on Saturday night against the Wranglers of Northern Arizona and their former coach. So that'll be our guest list, and I'm looking forward to both of those conversations. Little surprised at all that Gladiators made a coaching change midway through the season?
Very surprised. That shows you the expectations they have for that team. No, they had some tough losses, but it didn't appear necessarily that they were in a bad position. We talked about them learning to compete, showing moments that they belonged in this league, but then to be here, very surprised when I heard that.
So Rob was a quarterback last week. He joins this team, the coaching staff, according to the press release that the Gladiators put out, just days after leading the North Texas Bulls as their quarterback to an Arena League championship in that league, American Arena League Championship. And now he's the head coach here. So we'll have that conversation with him coming up at 9 o'clock. We're here for you at 505-246-0610. That's the Quan's Auto Care hotline. It is also the NMDOT text line, so you can get in with the text there. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. On the Twitter, it's _JJBuck. Great follow if you're not following it, and even if you are. And on the Facebook, the OD and the AM, and you can watch the show there. Aaron's producing for you on ProView Networks. Let's go to the phones. Get you started at 505-246-0610. Bruin James, you're up first. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Life's grooving.
It's going to be a real boring NBA Finals, so I probably won't even watch it or just watch it for static noise. You know what I mean?
Why is it going to be boring? Why boring?
I mean, you're going to have the Phoenix Suns and probably Atlanta or Milwaukee, and you're not going to have the Lake Show, or you're not going to have, I don't know, you're not going to have something. I mean, Phoenix is boring. You don't know nobody.
Really?
Yeah, They're boring.
All right. Well, I'll watch it. I actually kind of think they're kind of fun to watch. I think Devin Booker's a baller. I think DeAndre Ayton's terrific. I love what Jamison Crowder's doing, and Chris Paul doesn't bore me. They don't bore me at all, actually. I know they're not an LA team. They're not the sexy brand name, but I kind of dig it. I find them and I find Atlanta fun to watch.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's whatever. I mean, I would like to see somebody else in there. Like, it would have been pretty good to see the Lakers and the Nets, you know what I mean? Or something like that, something that gets your interest. But you're going to see, Devin Booker. You're going to see if the Hawks, if they make it, you're going to see the fall guy or what's his name?
You're not big on Trae Young.
Ice
you don't like Trae Young, do you?
Ice Trae, yeah.
Yep.
No, he's a joke. But anyway,
Hardly.
have a good one, guys.
All right.
Ooh.
I think your call was kind of.
I think Bruin James is struggling without UCLA. It doesn't know what to do with him.
Well, see this.
His Trae Young take is terrible.
It is terrible. All right. The Trae Young's a joke take. I mean, James, I love your takes usually. That's a bad one. Trae Young's not a take.
I don't like that call.
Yeah.
Not a good call.
I just because the Lakers aren't in it. Just to say, I don't know anyone. They're not exciting. I think that's just not. I mean, it's okay if you don't know anyone. It's okay if you just follow your team. I'm down. And I tell you this all the time. Just because I don't know it doesn't mean it's not true. Just because you don't know them doesn't mean they're not good. Like, what is boring about Phoenix?
Nothing. Just a Laker fan. Lakers aren't in it. He doesn't care.
You know what I found boring? And I grew up a Laker fan. Watching LeBron again. How about that? And we had this conversation. You said it early in the playoffs. You felt people were over LeBron. Obviously, he's not, as a Laker fan. But why? Because it's not the same thing. It's not Lakers and Celtics. It's not Lakers and it's not LeBron and Kevin Durant again. You got young stars. That's what this playoffs. Now, granted, the highlight, the big name is going to be Chris Paul. But this playoffs have been about emerging stars. It has
emerging stars and challenging what people think about you.
Yeah. And fighting through playoffs. All right, or injuries. United lost last night. We're going to get into that. Stanley Cup Finals moved on. You got a college baseball World Series champion. Trevor Bauer stories evolved. Ohtani pitched last night. We got all kinds of stuff. 505-246-0610. Danny Brown's going to be with us at the top of the hour on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
My World with Jeff Jerry is all about his life in and
Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacalm.com to learn more.
Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Here's a 1-2. That's lifted, well hit into the gap. This might clear the bases. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it will clear the bases. A bases clearing double off the bat of Nico Barella. Got the glove on it. Squeezes for a second. That's tapped on the ground. Might be academic. They'll flip it to first in time for the double play ball. Huge lead. There's the pitch. It's low. Runner going on a delayed steal, and he's going to be out at second. 1-2. The runner moving. It's pulled down the line. This might be trouble, and it's a fair ball. Sandoval coming around. Coach Pineda going to send him to the plate. Here comes the tying run, and he scores. Sandoval. The throw gets away. Cooper will go to second base, and we're all tied at 6 as Sandoval scampers in.
Hit so far. That ball is driven deep to right center field, and it's gone. Second home run of the inning for the Cougars. They've got 5 runs in, and Siembieda has come roaring back here at the top of the 3rd inning. 2-run home run for Jalen Montez.
Long look in. There's a pitch.
Sports animal.
The more I think about that, I want to just go, I don't like that call. Not a very good call. I don't like that call. James, you got to be better than that. Like, you can love your teams. Yeah, kind of like that, except for you can love your teams. And you know what? I'm curious now that it's kind of opened my mind a little bit. Do most of you feel that way? If it's going to be the Phoenix Suns and either the Milwaukee Bucks or the Atlanta Hawks. Does that bore you? Do you feel, and I know there's a lot of want to watch a Boise State, or they don't want to watch an Oklahoma State, or if it's not the brand name that they perceive to be the top of the table, the chart, the cream of the crop, then it's boring. It's not worth it. And to your point, then why have these other teams? But I've never felt that way. But I know there's people who feel that way. Do you think that's where public perception? Now, granted, because it's not brand names, television ratings will be down, and then you guys are going to tell me in 2 weeks, see, I told you. And okay, but do you think that's the way the majority of people feel like James does?
I think there's always sports fans that lose some interest when their team's out of it, because that's what generates most of your interest in whatever sport it may be. But overall, this is a big moment for the NBA that I think they've capitalized on as much as they could. Now, they can't control, you step on a foot, losing players along those lines, seeing Giannis hyperextend his knee. But what we're seeing is other franchises step up. I think that's a message to the league and other fan bases that, of course, if you get 2 superstar players that want to sign with the franchise, you do it with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Mm-hmm. But these other
Anthony
places,
Davis and LeBron James,
Milwaukee, they drafted Giannis. They drafted Chris Middleton, and they realized, oh, we got a pretty good team. Let's go acquire Drew Holiday. Phoenix took a huge swing for the fences. Everyone thought this was a terrible deal for them when they traded for Chris Paul. Like, what are you doing? You got a young core.
Wouldn't they give up?
I don't remember the deal exactly, but it was, you're taking on this salary. It should be Devin Booker's team. They saw something, took a swing in the moment, and now they're in the NBA Finals. And the same thing for Atlanta Hawks. It shows you there are ways to compete. There are multiple ways to win. And if you put yourself in position, you can take advantage of other teams' unfortunate issues, whether it's injuries, whatever it may be. And I think that's not just the young stars you've seen throughout the postseason that are kind of new to a lot of people, but also that franchises across the board, you can compete. And it does send a message, and it's going to have other fan bases put some pressure on, going, hey, I get maybe we didn't sign the biggest player this offseason, but if you're winning, invest, and you could end up competing for a championship.
So I think it's good for the league. I look back at the Chris Paul trade now, and I'm like, damn. It was in November of last year. And they gave up a bunch. The Suns sent to Oklahoma City Abdel Nader, Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen, who is this? Jalen Laseke? Who's that? I don't even know who that is. And 2022's first-round pick. I mean, for Chris Paul, and everybody would tell you right now, it was worth it. Abdel Nader. Abdel Nader came over to the Suns. I'm sorry. Abdel Nader came back. So it was for Paul and Nader. They sent Kelly Oubre, Ricky Rubio, Ty Jerome, Jalen Laseke, and next year's first-round pick. I don't know. They're in the finals now. Are they in the finals without this?
Now, if you're Oklahoma City, you're like, wait, this is all we got for Chris Paul,
right? But at the moment, I'm sure we're looking at that and just going, whoa. And their owner, the Suns owner, said that we're bringing in a Hall of Fame franchise leader to help Devin Booker, and they're set to become a factor in the Western Conference. Quote: this is looking back in time, right? We're excited to welcome Chris Paul and Abdel Nader to Phoenix. Chris's leadership and competitive approach to the game will have an immeasurable impact on our team. Abdel possesses all the traits on and off the court that will complement our culture. This is his quote. Look back now. Good move? Yeah, you're in the conference championship. Look, I'm going to tell you, I think this is good for the league. Do you think the league has to have the Lakers, the Celtics, whatever the big names? I got it. This isn't a big name. Chris Paul's a big name. Chris Paul does more commercials than anybody in the NBA, right? Except for maybe LeBron. I guess it's all State Farm, but it's in every damn commercial break, right? I think it's good for the league. But I'm going back to James's call. Do fans feel that way? Well, if it's not the big names and guys I know, it's boring and I don't want to talk about it. No, I'm not watching. I'm bored. Okay. I mean, then have a 5-team league. No, we need someone to beat up on Tuesday in January. We got to go to Milwaukee or Cleveland or something. Pad our stats. It's not going to be the Lakers every year. As much as you want it to be. And I know it was only 1 year. As much as you want it to be.
This isn't the way it's always going to be, but it is always good for leagues to have competitive teams across the board, to have something different.
My brother, I know when Lakers were out, he called me, what are you doing? I'm watching. He's like, who cares? Lakers are done. I'm like, a lot of people, I think, care. But that's LA fan right there. My team's not, I don't give a damn. And maybe that's other fan. Maybe that is. And yeah, the numbers are going to be down. If it's Phoenix in either one of those markets, yeah, the playoff numbers will be down. And then you're going to come and tell me, see, nobody cares. Okay. I'm going to tell you this is good for the game. And it gives every market, because these are 4 markets that have struggled. The Clippers, because they've been horrible forever, except for the last few years. Atlanta, Milwaukee, Phoenix. Bring those markets back into the fold. Now all of a sudden you've got a decade of fans who care, because they're getting a taste of this. Now you got a decade of fans who think that they can get there, that they're going to give a damn. And I don't think they give a damn just about their team. I think they're going to give a damn about your league now. I'm just telling you, growing the bottom makes you stronger. If you believe in the cliche, you're only as good as your weakest link, well, as a league, isn't growing the bottom better? Isn't now getting Orlando and Minnesota and some of these garbage teams? Wait till Sacramento's ever finally, maybe one day they will be decent, right? Isn't that good?
It is. Just look at
why you have a team there.
Yeah, it's when teams win, people respond, but still, it's good for the overall product to see a different level of competitiveness. Because yes, you still got your LeBrons of the world, Kevin Durant's, that are going to be there, but franchises are showing there are other ways to do it. You can compete. That's what you need, because in sports, it ends in failure. More times than not, you're always going to be on the outside looking in. So having these moments, I think it's good for the league. It's good for other fan bases. And it puts pressures on teams that maybe don't do enough. And then as you're a fan, you're investing, you're buying your tickets, you're buying your gear, you're going, wait a second. So we're sitting here looking at what the Phoenix Suns were just a few years ago.
Horrible.
And the worst records in the league.
Yep.
Atlanta has been to the Eastern Conference Finals twice since 2015.
I would argue that Atlanta has been one of the most insignificant franchises in the NBA for the last 2 decades.
And they have 2 Eastern Conference Finals appearances in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So put that on your resume.
Yeah, but I mean,
and it puts pressure on all these other franchises. Like, yeah, it ain't easy, but here you go.
Yeah, I think it's good. I'm listening to the other side, though. I mean, how do you feel? Because this is what it's going to be. You got no Lakers, you got no LeBron, you got no Durant, you got no Kyrie Irving or Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. When it was Toronto, I guess it was okay because it was Golden State. Right? But where are you? Are you watching? Because I am. I told you. I told you since the playoffs started. The way the Suns are constructed, it's one of my favorite rosters because it's kind of old school with a new school twist. They're constructed to look like an old school team with a center and a point guard and your traditional, as traditional as it gets now, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But yet they play new school basketball. I love the way they play. I love the way they're constructed. To me, what is boring about the Phoenix Suns?
That it says PHX and not LA.
All right, fair enough. 505-246-0610. I'm interested. I'm curious to what you think. United blew a 2-0 lead last night. Talk about that. How they gave away 3 points, I think, in Salt Lake City. Got beat by a team who had won just once prior this season. We'll talk about that. Come at the top of the hour, Danny Brown's going to join us. Talk about the legacy of his father, the great Mike Brown, who passed away yesterday. Robert Kent at 9 o'clock. He's the new coach. That's right, new coach of the Duke City Gladiators, as the Gladiators get set to host Northern Arizona and their former coach, Dominic Bramante, this coming Saturday out in Rio Rancho. So that's all coming up on the opening drive, and you get to go out and see these events. You get to go to United matches and Isotopes games this weekend and Gladiator events and whatever party you're doing this weekend. It's good to be moving again, isn't it? Guys, you ready for it? How do you feel? If you don't feel well, I suggest you call NewMail and feel like you again and take care of this. If you're dealing with things which are very, very natural as men age, things like fatigue, low T, erectile dysfunction, there's a place right here in Albuquerque that can help you deal with these things. NewMail is the trailblazer in the men's health field. They have been for years. They will help you. You just have to call them at 505-652-1688 or visit NewMail, that's NUMALE.com. You will feel better. As you age, things like hair loss, weight gain, even ED happen. There's a really good chance you'll be affected. Nothing to be embarrassed about. In fact, the only thing to be ashamed of is if you don't do anything about it when there's something to do. Do something and call NewMail at 505-652-1688. NewMail is right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable, and the results are absolutely real. It works. It's been working for men all over the country who have benefited from this. Call NewMail at 505-652-1688, and you will feel better.
Long look in. There's a pitch. That's in the air. In shallow right. Very aggressive as Gerard Pineda will have a play at the plate. Oh, what a hose in right. The ball was waiting for him as he came home, and he was dead to rights.
2-2, nobody out. 2 runs in. There's the pitch, and that's up the middle. No, right to Francois. Back to second for a double play. That's a good play by Francois. And 0-1 to Araceli Morales. There's the pitch. Morales swings, hits a Vela. What a catch by Vela in right field. Vela coming to her, running to her left and diving.
This one swing, it's going to go straight. Let's see if it falls, and it looks like the catch was made, and indeed it was for the third out. Sprawling was Kayla Reed for the third out. What a play. Garcia prepares, deals, she swings it. This one looks ding dong doink. Yabba dabba doo. Grand slam. by Mia Flores. Four ribbies for Mia as she just unleashed on that softball.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of no-valent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505.
Happy NIL Day. Welcome to the future. National Name, Image, and Likeness. That whole thing begins today for college athletics. So I think there's a big signing party over here.
7722 or go to
but it's a big day.
DCEsystems,
Bobby Bonilla gets what is 1 point, whatever, million, 1.1, whatever. Till he's 70. Do you know that story, Bob?
No.
Bobby Bonilla played for a lot of teams, the Pirates, and he played for the Mets back in back in like what, the 90s ish, 80s, 90s, and that was the ownership back in the day. That was the whole Bernie Madoff thing. And, and they were made to believe that they're going to make 10% on everything and all this money. And so they agreed with Bobby Bonilla basically to defer a lot of his pay. And so basically until he's 72 years old, every year on July 1st, Bobby Bonilla gets $1.7 million, I believe is the number. He agreed to defer the money over all those years at 8% interest.
Okay.
And they said, okay, sure. And so every year on July 1st, Bobby Bonilla gets paid.
I could live with that.
Don't you think? Bobby Bonilla hasn't played in a lot of years, but every year he gets paid. I'll find you the exact number. $1.19 million.
I think I could live on that.
Yeah.
Might be a bit of a stretch, but
well, I mean, he's
a sacrifice.
He's 58 years old.
Okay.
Hadn't played, but he's going to cash that check. $1,193,000, $1,193,248.20, and it goes all the way through 2035. From 2011 through 2035.
That would work for me, yeah.
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. So that's today.
Okay.
It's also NIL Day, JJ. All right. So that
I'm really looking forward to this because we're already seeing student athletes, and guess what? It's not like all the names you're going to know.
That's right.
That have been inking deals. So it opens the door for. I think this is going to be big for track and field athletes. I do think this can be a game changer. Because watching the Olympic trials, because I'm all in on track and field because it's an Olympic year, you realize how amazing that those athletes are. And you're seeing a lot of them that are one and done, are repping a school but then go pro. So maybe does this help out collegiate programs, potentially keeping some of these athletes around a little while? If they can do some name, image, and likeness while they're at their school, I think it can be great for successful Olympic programs across the board. And it's going to be an eye-opener. And there's a quote from Danny Gonzalez earlier this week saying kids that think they might be worth something, well, it's going to be, maybe you're not. But there's W-2 filled out. Like, this ain't free money. So there's a lot of life lessons involved, but I think overall there's going to be a lot of positives from it. And then seeing the story yesterday that Jeff Grammer wrote on what UNM is doing, and it makes a ton of sense. Like, maybe we get the law school involved, get the Anderson School of Management involved, and then you get student athletes learning, you get other students getting in new realms. I think this isn't going to destroy college athletics. Sure, there's still a lot of unanswered questions, but I think it's going to surprise a lot of people, the athletes that end up making an impact, because I had no idea Connor Janal and his brothers had 300,000 followers on TikTok. That is wild.
Nor did I. What makes him so popular on TikTok? What makes him so?
Him and his brothers just are.
What are they?
Do a lot of videos.
Yeah.
Good humor. Good content. It's things like that. Because we're all just sitting here going, star quarterback, car dealerships. It's a little bit more than that these days.
It will be. It will be. I think this is going to be a big learning curve, a big process. And I think there's going to be a lot of, well, can you do that? Is that legal? How do we do that? How do we do that within the realm of the rules? And I think that's going to be a big piece of this, because I think the people who are concerned, this is going to destroy college athletics, and I don't think it will. I think they're concerned that it just opens the door to pushing the limits, to cheating, to over utilizing. I don't want to call it a loophole because it's not, but over utilizing this tool. And how do you keep it honest? And we'll see, because I agree with you. I don't think it's going to destroy college athletics. But
how do you keep it honest? It's the fact that it's open to just not the star player that's getting potentially paid by an agent or shoe company to steer you to a certain campus.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610, so we'll get into that. Your soccer team last night had a 2-0 lead against a team that had just one positive result. That's a victory. One all year, a 1-5-4 club on the road. And 2 quick goals, and bang, bang, bang in the second, one in the first half and 2 in the second half. And United leaves Salt Lake with a 3-2 loss to Real Monarchs yesterday. Second straight loss for New Mexico United, and this one certainly disappointing.
That was a bad half of soccer in the second half for New Mexico United. And you mentioned a team that has only won once. Well, they've only beaten United once up until last night. Not just this season, just
3 years
overall.
Yeah.
And it was really frustrating evening for New Mexico. Only 6 shots on goal, 20 attempts. And that's the one thing lacking in the final third. And that's why you're seeing Trey Lassane start Brown, start Illich, and Sandoval come off the bench, is they're not getting enough out of the attack. They're not getting enough out of their starting forwards this season. Bruce and Tenari, their goals were fantastic. But then you had a soft one get by Philip Beigel, who made his professional debut last night, which, by the way, a lot of people after the fact were questioning. Like, if you're looking, where can we give Tambakis a breather?
Tambakis being your primary goaltender.
Your starting keeper, it would have been this match. So I have no problem with rewarding Beigel, giving him the opportunity to make his professional debut, because the first one was questionable, took an awkward bounce. He's going to be thinking about that one, but the next 2 goals were well done by the Real Monarchs. But it was a bad second half. Ton of questions now for New Mexico United. 6 goals in their last 2 games. Work to do. And the one thing, definitely don't want to hear is, oh, there's a couple MLS players down on the roster. Nah, that wasn't the difference in the game. If that's the case, then there's a lot of United fans that need to change their takes. 6
goals against in the last 2 games after 3 clean sheets in a row. United get beat last night 3-2 in Salt Lake City. 505-246-0610 is how to get to us today. 888-922-0610. I'm looking forward to talking to Danny Brown coming up at the top of the hour, remembering his father, Mike, legend in New Mexico, who passed away yesterday. We'll do that coming up at the top of the hour.
You'll always be winning with F45. We're talking 45 minutes to get one of the best workouts that you're ever going to have. One of F45 functional fitness. What I love about it is when you book your class, you're guaranteed to get your workout in. It is so challenging now with everything opening back up, is when you have the chance to work out, maybe it's during that rush hour. You go in, you keep your fingers crossed that things are available, that you're going to be able to get your workout in. You don't have to hope, you don't have to wish that equipment's going to be available with F45, because when you book your class, they manage class sizes. You show up, program's ready to go, knock it out, 45 minutes, your heart is beating and you're feeling good. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today to see what the classes are all about. Classes are available 7 days a week, and you can sign up for your 7-day free trial on the app. Hit the 545 class last night. Tons of cardio work, but that's what I love. It's a challenge where it's not just 45 minutes on a bike or a rower. You're doing full body functional fitness, different exercises to push your heart rate up, and really, in a blink of an eye, you're done and you're going to be feeling this. Check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today. Book your class. Guarantee you get your workout in and you'll be feeling good about your decision. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
ACE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth that's real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that could happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Stanley Cup last night. Canadiens outshot Tampa Bay 43-23. Controlled most of the action, but Andrei Vasilevsky stopped 42 of those 43 shots. And the Lightning beat the Canadiens 3-1. They take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup final to the Great White North. They'll play in Montreal tomorrow. I don't know how much of that you got to watch, but it was a game where Canadiens came out like they were down 1-0. They controlled the puck a lot. They put a lot of rubber on Vasilevsky, and he was terrific.
That is one. If you're Montreal, you're just sitting there with like, what else are we supposed to do? How else were we supposed to get a game from Tampa Bay? And then especially seeing that goal that was scored right before the second intermission. And the Lightning just find a way. The Canadiens responded. That's what you wanted to see in game two. But my goodness, sometimes you just run into a goaltender that's on one.
Yep, and they ran into one that was on one, and he was good. NBA last night, Suns finished the Clippers 130-103. Chris Paul going to his first NBA Finals in his 16-year career. He had 41 points, 8 assists, did not turn the ball over. And he was great. You know, we talked a lot yesterday about what does it mean for Paul George. So we haven't had this conversation yet this morning. Paul George was 6 of 15 from the field. He scored 21 points, turned the ball over 4 times. I'm not going to be the guy who's going to sit here and blame the series on Paul George because I thought he played very well in the playoffs. I just don't think that first of all, that's not his role to carry the team. It became his role when Kawhi went down. After the game, he was asked, and he said, we're moving on if Kawhi's healthy. Kawhi's not, so you're not. What will the narrative on Paul George and playoff P be going forward?
The narrative, in my opinion, is that team can win a championship. The LA Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can win an NBA championship. Paul George was disappointing last night, especially coming off his 41-point performance, just 1 of 6 from 3. At one point in time, early in the third quarter, he was only 3 of 8 from the field. But I trusted Paul George this postseason. He responded in a huge way. As everyone thought they were done when Kawhi Leonard got hurt against Utah Jazz. Wasn't the case.
Yep. And
then to get to this point, put all the pressure on the Phoenix Suns in a Game 6. Now, Phoenix responded, but I'm all in on Paul George. Now, the Clippers have some work to do, is they're going to have to find that third scorer. So I think Reggie Jackson is going to get a nice payday from someone as he'll go off and earn his money and try to be a 1A or 1B for a certain franchise. But I believe in Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Keep your fingers crossed, Clipper fans, a few of you that are out there. They can win a championship if the stars align and they're on the floor.
Yeah, I think the stars have to align. It was disappointing for him. But I think, to me, and I'm with you on this, he changed the narrative. It would have been amazing for him to get that team through. I just don't know that there was enough. Reggie Jackson played well. You had other guys. At times, Zubats was out and Kawhi Leonard's out. 2/5 of your starting lineup's not playing. And you're supposed to carry, and you're playing the conference finals. I thought he played really well throughout the playoffs. The 2 free throws at the end of Game 3 are going to be very haunting to him, and understandably so. You got to make free throws at the end of a game. I mean, it's clutch time. It's winning time. You had a chance to put your team up by 3. You missed them both. You lost on a last second dunk. Yeah, you got to wear that. That's not why you lost the game, but that's a big piece of it. And then this. So he didn't ascend to a further level, but I think he cemented himself on the level where he is supposed to be. Does that make sense? He's not a superstar, but he's a star in that league. And there's a different level between being superstar. You're Kevin Durant's, you're LeBron James, you're Kawhi Leonard, you're Steph Curry's. I think Devin Booker's getting there. And then there's what he is, right? He's a really good second piece.
I agree with that. I think
and that's okay.
Like, there's certain words that just come out when we talk sports. Mm-hmm. And I think the term superstar, great,
yeah,
they're just kind of crutches for a lot of us just when we're talking. And I don't think I would like to reserve that for the majority of those names that you just said, like superstar guys that all right, this dude is different. There's still a lot of very good players in this league. Star level players. I think Paul George is that. To your point, Devin Booker is that right now. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because we saw what a star player can still do. In this case, Paul George propelling this team to the point. But the better squad was Phoenix Suns.
I think that's right. And by the way, not a boring squad. Just a really good, and the healthiest. They are the healthiest. Chris Paul was good, borderline great. Devin Booker was very good. DeAndre Ayton was very good. They were good. They were really good the whole time. I think that's a great team. If they're the Western Conference champions, they're the ones who got through. Does it make it boring? Does it make it bad? If you don't want to watch it, man, good Lord, we invented the remote control. You can go watch soccer. You can go watch baseball. You can go watch Family Feud. Bachelor's probably on. It's on every damn night. If not, The Voice is, or some other singing competition. Good Lord invented the remote control. When we come back, we're going to remember Mike Brown. His son, Danny, the head coach at Siembieda, is going to be with us. This is Albuquerque, New Mexico. Lost an icon yesterday in the passing of Mike Brown. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Aaron produces for you on the TV side. Bobcat or Gato Roberto on the radio side. It's 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Mike, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Here's a 1-2. That's lifted well hit into the gap. This might clear the bases. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it will clear the bases. A bases clearing double off the bat of Nico Barella. Got the glove on it. Squeezes for a second. That's tapped on the ground. Might be academic. They'll flip it to first in time for the double play ball. Huge lead. There's the pitch. It's low. Runner going on a delayed steal, and he's going to be out at second. One-two. The runner moving. It's pulled down the line. This might be trouble, and it's a fair ball. Sandoval coming around. Coach Pineda going to send him to the plate. Here comes the tying run, and he scores. Sandoval. The throw gets away. Cooper will go to second base, and we're all tied at 6 as Sandoval scampers in. Hit so far. That ball is driven deep to right center field, and it's gone. Second home run of the inning for the Cougars. They've got 5 runs in, and Siembieda has come roaring back here at the top of the 3rd inning. 2-run home run for Jalen Montez. Long look in, there's a pitch. That's in the air. In shallow right. Very aggressive as Gerard Pineda will have a play at the plate. Oh, what a hose in right. The ball was waiting for him as he came home, and he was dead to rights. 2-2, nobody out. 2 runs in. There's the pitch, and that's up the middle. No, right to Francois. Back to second for a double play. That's a good play by Francois. And 0-1 to Araceli Morales. There's the pitch. Morales swings, hits to Vela. What a catch by Vela in right field. Vela coming to her, running to her left and diving.
Let's see if it falls, and it looks like the catch was made, and indeed it was for the 3rd out. Sprawling was Kayla Reed for the 3rd out. What a play.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 2-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and JJ Buck.
He went out like he lived his life with grace, dignity, integrity, strength, and most of all, thinking about others. He was still fathering, coaching, teaching. Unbelievable. So Danny Brown texted me yesterday about his dad, Mike Brown, who passed away yesterday at the age of 75. A New Mexico legend. As you know, sometimes numbers tell stories, and it's part of the story. But it doesn't begin to tell the story of the man and how many lives Mike Brown touched, molded, and made better. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck, a man and a family and I think this whole state was touched by Mike Brown, and he lives on the legacy of his family. His two sons, Greg and Danny, both are coaches in the Albuquerque area. 26 years at Academy, 400 and something games that were won. All those numbers are real. 432 games won, 14 district championships, 6 state championships in a row. But it's the legacy of the man and who he was. And reading some of the stuff that was said yesterday, it just reaffirmed that. Reached out to Danny Brown yesterday, and I've known the Brown family. I've been in town for a quarter of a century, and one of the first high school coaches I met was Mike years ago, and got to know the family over the years. Danny Brown, Mike's son, also the head boys basketball coach at Siembieda High School, joins us on the opening drive. Danny, deepest heartfelt condolences to you and your family, and appreciate you spending some time with us. How you doing?
I'm good. We really appreciate you having us on and being able to speak about my father, man, because as you stated, just a wonderful, great man, and I'm fortunate to be his son, but I lived, and I was just telling your producer, I lived through all this and seen what he has done, but gosh, the outpouring of support and the people that have reached out, the community, just from all over. I have to take a step back and just realize, gosh, this dude meant a lot more to people than I realized, and it's just a beautiful thing, man.
When is it? And it's funny, we grow up with our parents. They're just dad, they're mom, right? And they've got these lives outside. Like to your kids, your dad, but to so many other people, your coach Brown, you're this guy. At what point in your life do you think you realize, and maybe it was yesterday, I don't know, that what your dad meant to so many people, who he was? Because there he was, and I know you were around it, and you went to Academy, and you played for him. But at what point did you realize, kind of start to realize what he meant to other people?
Well, I've always known that he's played a big part in people's lives. It's crazy. We go back to his Holy Ghost days, like when he was a young guy, and the lives he touched back there. Then he went on to Bernalillo, and he was only there for maybe a year, and then he went to Academy, and that's where all of it started. But and then he came to Highland with me, and then to Volcano, and it was really cool going around town because, people just ask about your dad, like, hey, how's he doing? And this was before he was sick. And, I understood that. But then, when it got out, he was sick. And, gosh, it just people came out of the woodwork, just people we hadn't seen or talked to for a while. And they just continue to ask about him. And now in his death, man, like I said, it's so crazy. It's just my phone's been flooded. I'm sure my mom and my brother and my sister's phones have been flooded. And so for me, it's always been there. But like I said, now that he passed, gosh, the outpour of love, and admiration, and inspiration, that's the word that's been used a ton is inspiration. Like, your dad was an inspiration, and it's just it really is unbelievable. And I'm like I said, I'm so proud to be his son. It just, I've never been more proud, but I've always been proud, but not like this. It makes us feel so good, so good that he was this man.
Danny Brown is with us, Siembieda boys basketball coach, remembering his father, Mike Brown.
Danny, it's obviously more than just basketball to get to this point with what your dad was able to do in his career. So if people didn't get to experience that, and I know for a lot of people, including myself, learning about your father and his legacy, like where would you start? What is the first thing you'd say about your dad, whether it was basketball or off the court, about where his impact began?
Well, I mean, I think it's all tied in together. Like everything that he's done has been tied in together. People used to, they know him as the basketball. Well, I shouldn't say everybody does, but they know him. He's well known as being the basketball coach, that guy. But when they get to know him, or they got to know him, they see how much deeper that is. Like, we have kids and people that have just were his students that he had the same impact on. Just changing lives, and then as a coach, I always said this, right? Like, he won a lot of titles, and he had so much success, and it wasn't because he was an X's and O's guy, like he was, but it wasn't because of that, like not at all. It was because of the relationships that he built, the sacrifices he made. He made his teams understand, and his students and people around him, like, my family especially, like how important it is to do for others and sacrifice for the greater good. And he was that way all the way to the end of his, life. He very well could have passed away in the hospital that he was in. And this COVID thing kind of, screwed everything up because we weren't able to really see him other than window visits. And he could have just been like, all right, man, like, this is it. I'm done. I'm good. I don't need to push through this. But, he did it for his family, for his friends, for his players, for everybody that he touched in his life, because he wanted to see them again, and he knew that we all, more importantly, wanted to be with him and see him and celebrate his life. And so, I mean, that's just the epitome of who he was. So, it's crazy. I read these letters, that were written for him for his birthday, a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I read them the last couple days, and just to connect with him in another way. And somebody wrote in there that good coaches change lives, and they can even change, or good coaches can change seasons or games or whatever, but great coaches change lives. And like that was exactly who he was, man. He changed and lives and influenced lives, and so we're forever grateful for being a part of his family tree. I know that for a fact.
What motivated him, do you think, to do that? Is it just? I mean, is that just who he was? Is to just care so much about not only his star forward or his star player, but to your point, the student in his math class. I
mean, the kids, people, like that's what he was. That's who he was. He just he wanted people to be as good as they can be, and he understood that he had an avenue to do that and to help and to assist, and he made people work, but he made them realize that hey, like, if you work hard, I'm here to help you and guide you and mold you, and I will do whatever you can. If you help yourself, I'm going to help you as much as you need it. And so he let us as his kids, he let us fail and figure it out.
Sure.
And that's what the best part about it was. And then he's like, all right, like, you learn. It's he just had this uncanny way of just making people around him better, because, like I said, we didn't have the most talented teams at Academy. Like, there's teams that were good, but gosh, like, he knew the buttons to push. He knew what to do, how to interact with each kid individually. It was unbelievable. It's crazy. And so that's what those are the reasons why, like, he's been successful, and he was successful as a coach, as a teacher, as a father, as a dad, right? Like, he just had the way of, giving you that look and knowing, and we're like, all right, it's time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
look. Yeah, Danny Brown's with us for a few more minutes, remembering his father, Mike Brown, legendary basketball coach, but legendary pillar in our community, who passed away yesterday morning.
Danny, hearing you talk just about the atmosphere that was around your family, what your dad put out there, there's a ton of pressure then on you and your brother or anyone in your family that plays basketball. But did it ever feel that way? Were you ever thinking, maybe I don't want to do this basketball thing? Or was it always, basketball is such a big part of the family that it was as no-brainer that was the route you were going to go as well?
Yeah, I mean, it never crossed our minds at all. Like, it was just, I mean, we're in the gym right now. My son's in the gym right now, like, down shooting, working out. We got it. We came up last night, with him and my daughter, just, and it's just a place for us to be, like, and be connected to him, without him being here, obviously. But no, I mean, we just grew up, like, in the gym, and it's funny because, like, yes, we had a choice, but in all actuality, did we really? Because we were in the gym with him. But the difference is that we really loved it. Like, we loved it, and I think more so than that, it was just the love, and we got to be with our dad doing what he loved, and that was the most important thing. That's why he took us. It wasn't because he wanted us to shoot baskets or do any of that stuff, it was just because he wanted to be with us, and we wanted to be with him, and that's how we're trying to do with our kids, and so. Yeah, it was a no-brainer. It was one of the best experiences ever, just to grow up with him and be able to play for him. Like, I look back and see how lucky I really was.
Do you have a few more minutes? Because there's a couple more things I want to talk to you about. And we got to take a break. Do you have another segment in you?
Absolutely.
As I know there's a lot going on. I appreciate it. But I just, the stories that you're telling, I think are so touching and mean so much. And just remembering your dad. I'm gonna put you on hold, and I want to continue this in the next segment with Danny Brown, who is the head basketball coach at Siembieda. Remembering his father, Mike, legend in New Mexico sports, a 2018 inductee into the Mexico Sports Hall of Fame. Going to continue the conversation with Danny when we come back on the opening drive.
At Panera, dinner is hot and ready to serve. Grab the creamy mac and cheese and a bread.
Deals, she swings it. This one looks ding dong doink. Yabba dabba doo. Grand slam by Mia Flores. Four ribbies for Mia as she just unleashed on that softball.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of no-valent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
AM 610, the sports animal.
Continuing our conversation with Danny Brown, the head boys basketball coach at Siembieda, remembering his father, Mike Brown, the legendary coach who passed away yesterday on the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Danny, we were remembering your dad a little bit yesterday, and one of our callers kind of brought up a point about your family, you and Greg going into the family business, so to speak, and getting to working with your dad. You get to, so many of us, and we grow up and we move away, right? I grew up, I moved away, and my dad and I did not become closer. Well, we did at the end because he was in Albuquerque and I moved here, but you guys, it felt like you've got this. You and Greg both have this special bond because you guys, I'm going to guess, and I'm going to let you talk about it a little bit, grew closer over the years, which is something that most of us don't get to experience. Has got to be pretty special.
No, it was. I mean, it's always been that way, and from the start, like I knew, and I suspect, my brother knew, like he wanted to be a coach, like it was just what it was, and so it was really cool because it's come full circle, and when my brother moved back from Oklahoma, he was on my dad's staff for a couple of years before he got the Manzano job, and they got closer there, right? Like they were able to do that, and it's been so cool. Like we were already close, but basketball was what it was. It brought us together, and then my dad had obviously a wonderful career at Academy. My brother moved on to Manzano, then later Volcano, and then I became the head coach at Highland. And 2010 when my dad retired, he always told me he was going to come help me. And man, like that in itself was just the best thing in the world, man. Just again, it was one of those things where it came full circle, where he used to take us to the gym to spend time with him. Now he got to come to my gym and spend time with me, and regardless of what he wanted to do or didn't want to do, we put him to work. But like, gosh, he loved it. He loved being there with us. He loved being there with the Highland kids, more importantly. And it was just so good for those 6 years or whatever. We didn't win much, like I'll just tell you that. But like, and that was difficult for him because he's a winner, man. He won a ton of games, and so when we left Highland, my brother scooped him up, which was probably the best thing. And up until this past year, he was my brother's assistant coach. And I mean, I don't think you could ask for a better assistant coach, but like, gosh, the time we got to spend with him, you're absolutely right, brought us just even closer, brought the family together. Everybody was just there supporting each other, and it's so cool because my brother has his son coming through, and my sister's son plays at Volcano now, and so Papa got to be around all those guys. It's a family deal. I was on the east side up here. They're all on the west side, so they kind of excluded me a little bit, but it's all good.
Watch the Papa Brown shirts through the state tournament and what Volcano did. And your dad had been fighting this rare form of Parkinson's for the better part of 2 years. And certainly I know it had gotten tough the last 6 months. The shirts, the love, the Papa Brown love. What did that mean to him? I'm sure he saw it. I'm sure, you know, what did that do for the family, for him, for you guys, to getting you through that?
Well, I mean, you know, it was a long battle with him and this Parkinson's, this MSA, you know, multiple system atrophy going on. It was a tough deal. It's a tough deal. Not a lot of stuff that's out there on that, but gosh, like, and it got him, and it affected him, but it certainly didn't get his head or his mind. And you know, he was super proud, you know, super proud and honored, humbled by all the love and support in those shirts. We were as well, and to top it off, like it happened, you know, those girls hitting that half-court shot, Natalia and my niece Kennedy, you know, doing what she did and being able to go see Papa right after that. I mean, gosh, it brings tears to my eyes, and I know it meant a lot. And, you know, through this whole process, my dad, again, was thinking about everybody else, right? He wanted to start a scholarship. So he got my sister, the brains of this family and this operation, the Bulldog, and he knew she would go after it, and he told her what she wanted for this MSA scholarship and taking care of these APS students because, you know, he's been around them so much. So, you know, we're going to start that, and Papa's, you know, it's the Papa MSA Scholarship Fund, and we're going to try to take care of kids around here. He is, again, you know, and it's so cool that he's thinking about people like that again and wants to do that for people. So it's awesome, man. So I don't know. It's just, I can go on and on about this, Steve. You know what I mean?
It's pretty special. Danny Brown's with us. Just a few more minutes. The Sandia boys basketball coach, remembering his father, Mike Brown.
Oh, Danny, obviously the impact that sports has had on your life and your family's life. But this past year has been different for everyone. And then finally seeing the chance for so many high school players and other athletes get a chance to play this season. When you just take a step back and just look at sport and what it means, what do you think we've all learned from the impact that high school athletics and other athletics can have in our lives, especially just going through the seasons that we just went through?
Well, I mean, it definitely has been a tough year, but if we can learn anything, is that these kids, man, like, you know, they know how to persevere. You know, they put up with a lot of stuff and a lot of stuff, like, you know, I mean, it was crazy. Just a lot of stuff was political and not, you know, and just trying to figure things out. And they served the brunt of this, but they made it through. And I think if anything comes out of this, man, is that you know, like out of learning from this COVID and from my dad, man, these kids need sport. They need each other. They need coaches. They need to be part of something. And regardless, and we could find a way, and we could, you know, there's some decisions that have been made that have been crazy and we don't understand them, but, you know, the whole theme of this is kids need this. Kids need to be together, need to play, and have coaches like Papa Brown that care for them, and that's why they wanted to be in the gym or on the fields or whatever. So that's kind of what I've taken from all of this, you know.
How much of the coach that you are is your dad? I think I always hear coaches tell me that they've got a little bit of everybody they played for and coached for in them, and then there's, you know, they bring their own style to it. How much of the coach, Danny Brown, is Mike Brown?
Well, I definitely am his son. I look like him, you know.
The hairline's terrific. No, I'm a big fan of that. You know that.
I know you are. We ball guys got to stick together, you know. But you know, like I remember him when I first started coaching. He's like, man, just be you, be who you are, you know, be you. But you know, and I think I have been. He coached with me, and he kind of got to see who I was, and I was a crazy guy. I guess I still am sometimes, you know.
Good.
But
he
enjoyed it thoroughly at Highland, right? And the funny thing is the last couple of days, like we were asking him, hey, who was it harder to coach for, me or Greg? And, you know, he said, you. And I was like, oh, my God, you know. But but I know he had fun. But, yes, like the thing that I really I'm trying to be is I could care less about the wins and losses. And that's how he was. But it's those relationships and trying to be with kids and trying to teach them and teach them these lessons. And there's no better way, like, to do that than through athletics to me. And he taught me that. And that's what it's all about, man, is being able to make relationships, build relationships, and let these kids know you love them, but you're going to coach them and you're going to be hard on them, but you're going to love them when they're done. And that's what he taught me, man, like absolutely 100%. And that's what I take with me all the time. And, I know my brother's the same way.
Well, the ultimate tribute is all the men who have come back years later and loved on Papa. And given so much credit, and not just the great athletes and coaches and the Cody Topperts and the Chad Topperts and James Borrego and Nota Begay, but all the people that maybe people have not heard of who have been successful, wonderful men who have come back, and that's the tribute. And I know you're proud and you should be. And I'm going to tell you, from the first day that I've known your family, and this is 1996, Terry McDermott sent me out to Academy to do a story. Didn't know much about him. Probably should have done more research at the time. And your dad could not have been more accommodating. Stopped practice, introduced himself to me, shook my hand, introduced me to his team. I'm like, wow, this is kind of weird. And I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable respect. What can I do for you, Jeff? And brought over a couple players, and then I kind of learned more. And every interaction, and to you, I mean, when I was coaching AAU basketball, and you always helped us find. I told JJ the other day, hardest thing about coaching basketball is finding gym time, and you're always helpful with that. And just mad love to your family, man. I appreciate you sharing some time with us and sharing stories with our audience. I hope it's a little therapeutic for you to talk about him in this format. But I want people to know who your dad was, what he meant, and what your family means. And now you get to carry it on. Just huge love and support from us to you and to Greg, to your mom, to your sister, to your whole family. And I tell people this all the time. I lost my dad 20 years ago. It doesn't get any easier. You just learn how to. You learn how to deal with it. Right? It's supposed to hurt because that means it was really special. And just enjoy the memories. Let the great memories carry you through it, because you know how fortunate you were, man. And just a lot of love to you.
Well, we appreciate it. I know my family, on behalf of my family, we appreciate you guys celebrating him and talking about him. Because he's a special dude, man, and thank you, Albuquerque and everybody else that has sent those well wishes to my dad, man, and to our family. It means so much, and so still having an impact, and we love him for that.
All right, my friend, be well, and let's catch up soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff.
Take care.
Bye, JJ.
Danny Brown, and it's not easy, man. It's hard for me to talk to him about my dad 20 years later, let alone the day after. But his dad was a legend. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs. proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
A sincere thank you to Danny Brown for coming on. And if you've got stories, Ash, I heard a bunch of stories yesterday. People I talked to during the day, had you heard about Mike Brown? Yeah, I did. If you've got stories, love to hear them. If you played for him, if you played against him, coached against him. But, yeah, the Brown family's been, I'll tell you what, man. Now, that young man we just spoke with, back when I was coaching that AAU team, helping coach, I wasn't the head coach, but gym time. And he was a big part of helping us find just time to practice. I mean, you're scratching out anywhere you can get. And Danny was terrific. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails are coming in this morning, and you're all looking ahead now. Everybody, I got a bunch of looking ahead emails. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Are you jonesing for a little football?
Always.
So does this year feel different to you on the football front? Meaning, I know we're jonesing because it's a different season, but typically, and I'm not talking about last year, we hit about now, the NBA and the NHL playoffs have been done for a month, and there's
you're
right, and there's
scraping your clawing for stuff.
Well, and there's it's baseball and there's Wimbledon. And I always tell you July is international month to me. It's the British Open and Wimbledon and Tour de France. And by the way, we need to talk about the Tour de France, and Euro. Right, there's always some international soccer. July's always international month, and which is kind of cool in its own right. And camp's open. I guess it's sneaking up on me, but camp's open like now. It is now July, so this month. And I guess it doesn't feel like it's been as long because I love this sports calendar. This is why I so badly wish the NBA would push their start back to Christmas Day.
I think it's great.
I think it is so much beneficial now.
Better for them and us.
Don't you think? Now, I don't know what the television numbers are saying to the NBA. But it feels like it would be so much, I mean, obviously for us, but so much more beneficial for them to get out of the way of the NFL a little bit and be there in the summer with their playoffs with baseball. I'm sure baseball's going, no, don't do that. But it feels like the interest is so good right now in the NBA, except for Bruin James, who, the Lakers aren't there. It's boring, and who cares about this crap? But I don't know. I know football's coming. I know I'm supposed to look at my fantasy football roster and decide who I'm keeping, but I don't even know who the commissioner is anymore. Commissioner said he's stepping down. Mike Dean, all right, I'm keeping Ryan Tannehill. What, Jeff? Nope. Look, all right, we'll do fantasy football later. But does it feel different to you, like the whole football thing? Because it's coming.
It does, especially when it comes to the NFL, and not just jumping on every little thing that was said that, at least hasn't involved Aaron Rodgers over the last couple of months. But especially collegiately, it is going to have a different feeling. Just locally, the momentum and the fact that we'll actually be able to go to a live college football game.
Yeah. No, it's sneaking up on me. Rod hit me with this one. He says, "When do you head to Vegas, Jefferson?" It's been too long since I've heard. We had a good off season. I think we improved. The guys worked hard. We got a really good recruiting class. I love our staff, and for the new coaches, we've worked hard to change the culture. Well, Rod, it'll be 3 weeks from yesterday. I'll be in Vegas. So 3 weeks from yesterday and today are the Mountain West Conference Media Days, and I will be in Vegas and bring you back all the we worked hard conversations you can muster.
You can handle.
Yeah. If I can find my recording device, dude. I honestly don't know where my iPad is. I got to find it. I put it somewhere. Probably when I went on a trip. I don't know where the hell it is. So I got to find that. Otherwise, I got to find a new device. But yeah, that Rod, it's coming 3 weeks. Mountain West Conference Media Day. You're going to get preseason polls. You will get your preseason all-conference teams. Newcomer of the year is Terry. Why am I forgetting the quarterback's name?
Terry Wilson.
Terry Wilson. Is he on your ballot for preseason newcomer of the year to the Mountain West?
Yes. Is that a thing for football?
I don't know, but I know it is for basketball.
Yeah.
But if you were
voting football, yes.
I mean,
he'd be there,
right? As far as because that's usually a transfer, not a freshman. And I know there's a lot of big name transfers that have come into this league, and everybody's got a few. I think Terry Wilson has the potential to have as big an impact as anybody coming into this league. Meaning, assuming he wins the quarterback job. I think we all assume that, right?
Yes.
Assuming he wins the quarterback job, he can have the biggest impact on changing a team's trajectory. This was a 2-6 football team, right? They won their last two. Were they 2-6? I believe that was the number. I believe he's got the biggest potential to just change a team's trajectory. He's a sixth-year veteran quarterback who won 10 games in the SEC, who won 2 bowl games at Kentucky, and coming in here, and it appears that he's got weapons. And it feels to me, and I haven't scoured everybody's roster as thoroughly yet, but it feels he's got the potential to have the biggest impact of any newcomer coming in.
Yeah, it's the marquee position in quarterback play, gives you an edge. In the Mountain West, when you got a guy that's not just get by, but he has that potential to be an above-average quarterback, and I think Terry Wilson does that, especially in this offense with Derek Wareheim, showed you he could put together when you're getting down to QB5. But now you give him Terry Wilson, who can throw the football, can use his feet outside the pocket. I think this offense can be set up for very big things. And look around at the teams that have finally taken that jump. Yeah, you have to establish your foundation, but quarterback play, it means so much in football, but especially in the Mountain West. Look at what San Jose State did.
Yeah.
Nick Starkel coming over.
They went
Arkansas quarterback. You look at him like, his numbers weren't great, but we'll see.
That's my point.
Won a conference championship.
And that's really kind of what I'm basing it on. It's my point. Starkel comes over. San Jose State also ran in this league. You guys want to throw him out of the league. For how long? You bring in a quality SEC quarterback who, by the way, his resume is not close at the SEC to what Terry Wilson's is. Terry Wilson's resume is better. Put some talent around him and see what they could do. This one's on you, Bob, and then we'll take the break. Are you familiar with your responsibilities for the Houston Baptist Scout?
Who?
This Jeffrey in Juan Jose says, Dan, it's hard to believe, but footy begins next month. It's felt like footy weather all week. As you know, it is generally the responsibility of the opening drive producer to give us the scouting report for the Lobos' first football opponent. So in 2021, does that mean Gato Roberto? Or will it be a collaborative effort with Gato Estefe?
I think it's going to be Jeff and JJ.
No. I mean, this is kind of, like we hoe on Friday.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, the producers always, and Michael.
The first game scout.
Michael Ann fought this one too.
Yeah.
But the first game, game week, assuming you still want this job, I mean, you don't have to be here.
but it might be a detriment.
It's to find the scouting report on Houston Baptist and let us know about them. In fact, Hoser even found the coach of Abilene Christian, I believe it was, and got us the coach on the air the week before the first game, and we had the coach of the first team.
The one time we actually asked a producer to do some work.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, we shall.
Okay.
If you want to be the best and rise to the top of the scouting report, let me tell you about F45 training. F45 training is full-body functional fitness in just 45-minute classes. New program that they dropped a couple weeks ago is fantastic. They're switching up the workouts. The workouts throughout the week focus on different things. Cardio strength. Last night was a cardio workout. High-intensity training, but it's not just 45 minutes on a bike, 45 minutes on a rower. You're doing full-body functioning movements, and I'm telling you, man, I was sweating. I was hurting at the end, but it's that good hurt. When you feel accomplished, you push yourself through something, and what you can do in 45 minutes to get that type of workout is fantastic because it's not going to take up your entire day, and that's what I love about F45 training. I'm a fan of traditional weight training, the things that you can mix in. But life, it's getting busy. Things are opening up. There's a lot more things to do and a lot less time to do it. But don't forget about your fitness. And with F45 training, all it's going to cost you is 45 minutes to get in a great workout. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the F45 app today so you can take a look at the schedule of classes. They are available 7 days a week. Sign up for your 7-day free trial. Book your class. Your spot is guaranteed, and you're going to get your workout in. I am loving F45, the challenge that he presents. Looking forward to my workout tonight. You can join me as well. So check them out at F45training.com. Download the app. Sign up for your 7-day free trial. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry. I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on. What's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry. We'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck, Micah. Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk Live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Here's a 1-2. That's lifted well hit into the gap. This might clear the bases. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it will clear the bases. A bases clearing double off the bat of Nico Barella. Got the glove on it. Squeezes for a second. That's tapped on the ground. It might be academic. They'll flip it to first in time for the double play ball. Huge lead. There's the pitch. It's low. Runner going on a delayed steal, and he's going to be out at second. One-two. The runner moving. It's pulled down the line. This might be trouble, and it's a fair ball. Sandoval coming around. Coach Pineda going to send him to the plate. Here comes the tying run, and he scores. Sandoval. The throw gets away. Cooper will go to second base, and we're all tied at 6 as Sandoval scampers in. Hit so far. That ball is driven deep to right center field, and it's gone. Second home run of the inning for the Cougars. They've got 5 runs in, and Siembieda has come roaring back here at the top of the 3rd inning. 2-run home run for Jalen Montez. Long look in, there's a pitch. That's in the air. In shallow right. Very aggressive as Gerard Pineda will have a play at the plate. Oh, what a hose in right. The ball was waiting for him as he came home, and he was dead to rights. 2-2, nobody out. 2 runs in. There's the pitch, and that's up the middle. No, right to Francois. Back to second for a double play. That's a good play by Francois. And 0-1 to Araceli Morales. There's the pitch. Morales swings, hits to Vela. What a catch by Vela in right field. Vela coming to her, running to her left and diving.
Let's see if it falls, and it looks like the catch was made, and indeed it was for the 3rd out. Sprawling was Kayla Reed for the 3rd out. What a play. Garcia prepares, deals, and she swings it. This one looks ding dong doink. Yabba Dabba Doo. Grand Slam by Mia Flores. Four ribbies for Mia as she just unleashed on that softball.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico.
Your first report is...
You're already on it?
I'm already on this.
Yeah.
This will be the first time they've played the Lobos.
All right. Is that right? Houston Baptist never played the Lobos
I
before?
just looked it up on their website. They've never played the Lobos.
All right. Well, there's your scouting report.
There's your first one.
All right.
Look at that.
On that. That's good. See, Roberto working on your football report. Next month is football season. We are now in July. We are now in the second half of your year. Back end of 2021. And, wow. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Lobo Hobo says, I am looking forward to the NBA Finals. I think the Suns should play in Veterans Memorial Coliseum. They need to bring back Alvin Adams and Garfield Hurd and Paul Westphal and Coach John McLeod. Paul Westphal passed away this year. The old school Phoenix Suns. Garfield Hurd, Paul Westphal, Alvin Adams. Yeah, back in the day. See? The old Coliseum. This is your new school Suns, but they're ready to go. Gus is looking ahead to the critical series, JJ. Jeff, this is the most mediocre bunch of chihuahuas. That's how he spelled it. I've seen it in a long time. It's a great chance for Albuquerque's baseball team to get back in the PCL Northwest-South the PCL Northwest-South race against the hated rival. From Gus. What is the division called? Is it AAA West? Is that what it is? Or AAA West South Division? It might be all of that, actually, now that he says that. I don't know. Big series starts tonight out at Isotopes Park. That's Rio Grande Credit Union Field at Isotopes Park. Fireworks Saturday and Sunday, Gato Roberto. Big 4th of July weekend. By the way, we will be here Monday, right? We work...
Yes.
No days off.
July
no
5th
days
is
off.
no holiday. What are you talking about?
No days off.
July 4th.
No days off.
Yes. Yeah. July 3rd? No.
All right, so we're going to take the 4th of July off on Sunday.
We get Sunday off.
Pero on Monday, en trabajo, we're going to be working. You're not. Are you working over in the... You got to call up to the big leagues on Monday?
Yeah, they want me to pitch it.
Over at the big leagues?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be over there. Stephanie will be here.
It's kind of weird to have you on a Thursday now. My whole equilibrium's thrown off. I have no idea who produces our show when.
And tomorrow. Don't forget tomorrow.
I forgot about it already.
Okay.
Yeah. Remind me tomorrow.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow.
It'll be Friday.
All right. Hey, by the way, so we've talked about this Suns-Clippers game a lot, 130 to 103. We talked about Chris Paul. We talked about Paul George. How about Patrick Beverley's act?
Bush League.
So if you didn't see it...
Weak sauce. He couldn't handle a glance from Chris Paul.
Chris Paul dropped another three. The game was out of hand. It was late fourth quarter. It was 100-something to 80-something or whatever. And the team at timeout, teams are walking back to their respective benches except for Patrick Beverley, who turned around and double palm pushed Chris Paul in the back. Like what are we doing, dude? Your reputations are reputations for a reason, and sometimes it's hard. Guys get reputations because they're not deserved over one instance. That's why that guy's got that reputation. With all due respect to the game that Patrick Beverley has or had, that is Bush League crap.
Yeah, from behind, just shoving him, not handling a glance. He's still trying to be the tough guy in that situation, and pushing from behind is not being a tough guy. Like cheap shots, below the belt, you name it. Like if you want to go at someone, go at someone. Yeah. Be in their face.
You want to go? Let's go.
Like let's handle it this way. Not shove them from behind when they're not expecting it. And that's one that too. And you could tell even the rest of the Clippers, like his teammates were like,
"What are you doing, dude? We got to have your back."
That's one where it's like, I don't have your back.
Yeah. Now we got to have your back.
I'm not going to have your back for something like that.
But we kind of got to because we're wearing the same uniform, right? I mean, but you're right.
I'd just be looking at him like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like if you're going at it, face to face, foul him.
Right.
All right.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, you're trying to get in there, but shoving someone from behind like that in the moment, not expecting. And Chris Paul didn't even say anything. Like, oh, what did Chris Paul say? He didn't say anything.
Looked at you. Like, really? And by the way, what if he did say something in a game that is full of bleep talk? Yeah. Like basketball players talk, right? Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan were some of the greatest bleep to Larry Bird. You go out, play at the Y, play at your gym. People talk smack on the basketball. I don't care if he said something, but in this case, he hit a three and looked at him. Like, and what? And now you're going to push me now. If you want to push him now. Get in his face now. Not when he's walking back to the bench from behind. With all due respect, and there's very little due.
There's no respect there.
Yeah, there's very
zero
little
respect for Pat Bev in that situation.
That's garbage.
Weak.
It's weak. And to your point, like his team's going, we got to have your back. I was looking at the Twitter at that point, and it was like the Clippers are going to get someone hurt. Like the Suns better pull everybody off the floor if they want everybody healthy. So, where am I? Do I have time for this? Or I do have time for this? All right, we're right at the top, it feels like. But Dan, hello.
Morning, guys.
Good morning, Daniel.
Hey, good morning, brothers. I'm between stops here, but real quick. Hey, the way that wasn't a shove, that was a pop, man. He popped that guy in the back. He popped Chris Paul right in the back. Doubled, if you look at it slow, it pops his shoulders back and his head's back, and then he lands on the floor. You do that out in public and with witnesses, you're going to jail, man. That's assault. You know what I mean?
I do. You're not wrong.
It was pure assault.
You're not wrong.
And why they get away with it on the court like that, I don't know. But that was just disgusting. Any little bit of passion or any little bit of,
No, it's not okay.
As much as I wanted the Clippers to perform, I wanted Phoenix to win. But once that happened, boom, man! I'm like, get those guys off the floor, man. Let's move on.
Appreciate you, man. I got to take this break. I got to hit this break. Thank you, Dan.
Later, man.
All right, new Gladiators coach Robert Kent when we come back on the opening drive.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspets.com.
Dream style roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. There at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of no-valent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus.
The Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck.
Gladiators back out in Rio Rancho this weekend. $7 tickets available to celebrate 7 years in existence for the Duke City Gladiators. They will be playing their former coach. Well, they won't be playing him because he doesn't play, but Dominic Bramante will be the head coach of the other team, the Northern Arizona Wranglers, a team who Duke City beat just a couple of weeks ago in Prescott Valley, and they'll be playing out in Rio Rancho on Saturday. Gladiators did make an announcement yesterday that they have made a change at head coach. Martino Theus is no longer the head coach, and they announced that a former quarterback of theirs, Robert Kent, is the new head coach of the team, and an interesting run for Robert Kent. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck, glad you're with us. We'll get back to the phones in a little bit. Last weekend, Robert Kent, who, if you recall, in the 2019 season for the Duke City Gladiators, Robert came in and kind of saved the season here. He was the quarterback, and they went on to win a championship in the CIF. Robert won another championship last weekend with the Bulls, North Texas, in the American Indoor League, and yesterday was announced as the new head coach of the Gladiators. And so he'll be on the sidelines on Saturday. He joins us this morning on the opening drive. Good morning, Robert. How you doing?
Happy to be here.
Robert, congratulations on the head coaching job. Kind of a weird little journey, huh? You're
very weird, you know, but hey, God puts you in situations. You can either walk through the door or you can let the door close and turn around and go the other way. So I just decided to, you know, step out on faith and come out and try something that I know I feel I can be successful at.
So how's this play? You're leading the North Texas Bulls to the American Arena League Championship last Saturday. I'm going to assume you think, all right, I'm going into the offseason. Season's over. We just won a championship. And now you're coaching against your old coach with your old team in a new league, and everything completely changed. How did it all go down?
Exactly how you just explained it, man. I literally finished, won a championship this past weekend, but the thing is, we had to ride a bus for 17 hours from Fort Worth to North Carolina. So winning the championship, we stayed there Sunday, got back on the bus. We made it back home Monday morning. I was on my way to Albuquerque come Wednesday morning because it was time to come out here and try to get this show turned back around.
So when did you get the call, and how did that call go? Like you get a call from Gina and say, we're making a change at coach. We want you to be our guy, and here's what I expect. How does that go?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, she's already talked to me before about coming in, and because I told her, I was like, listen, I still want to be a player. I still enjoy being a player. And I just finished being a player, so I don't know if I'm ready to step into that role yet. But she assured me, and she let me know the things that she sees in me as a player, and, Father Time catches up with you, after so long. And to end up on top or to go out on top, it feels pretty good. My last game that I played out here at the Duke City Gladiators, we won the championship. I ended up tearing my knee apart. And actually, 2 years later, I get the opportunity to go and finish and win another championship. So my thing is, why not see what God has for me next? And I got the call about coming as coach, and hey, I was out here at the drop of a dime.
At 40 years old, I'm not going to tell you you're an old man because I don't think you are. But how much more football do you want to play, or are you done? Or are you a coach now?
I'm a coach right now. I've always told my family and my wife, I say, hey, as long as Tom Brady's playing, I'm going to play. I'm going to play.
Right?
but since I got an opportunity to step outside of my quarterback realm and be a coach, I want to see what that coaching field has for me now.
Robert, you have to really love football when you look at your journey, the places you've been. We're talking in the same year you've been bouncing around to chase this dream. What is it about the game that keeps you coming back?
I truly enjoy the game. Especially arena game. It's a family, fun-oriented game where the fans are right there on the sideline. The ball's going to the stands. There's so much interaction with them. So it's something that I myself pride myself on just building those kind of relationships. I'm a school teacher back in Dallas, and that's one thing I hang my hat on as far as telling my kids. I say anything is possible. It doesn't matter how old you are. As long as you're driven and you have the drive to be successful, all you have to do is go out there and try.
So what are the next couple of days like for you, from you focusing on you quarterbacking a game to now coaching this team? What have the last few days been like?
I have to switch my mindset. I have to go from focusing just on offense to now I have to focus on the whole everything, offense, defense, special teams. Because being a head coach, you can't just say, hey, I'm the head coach and I worry about offense. No, the team, it's a team game, and you have to cover all facets of the game. So now it's just more of a mind shift. And, being a quarterback, I'm always worried about defenses, but now special team kind of comes into play, and we have to make sure all three phases of the game are accounted for.
Robert Kent is the new head coach of the Gladiators. His first game as coach will be on Saturday against his former coach and the Gladiators' former coach, Dominic Bramante. Adds a little spice to your debut, doesn't it?
Adds a lot of spice to my debut. I mean, a lot. He's the coach that I won a championship with here in Duke City, and now I have the opportunity to coach against him. Like I said, it's a blessing. Football has taken me to all four corners of the United States, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. So the kids are out there. They have the drive to be successful. If you don't make it to the NFL, don't let that be your last stop, because there are a lot of other leagues out there for you guys to go out there and be successful, but you just got to go out there and continue to play ball.
All right, Robert, how good's your team? They're 2-4. They haven't won a home game yet, and I know you got to start winning at home. You look around. How much do you know about this team? What you know coming in, and what do you do now to make a difference?
I'm just trying to bring a different mindset, the positive mindset of regardless of what adverse situation we go into, we're still capable of going out here and making plays and winning the game. We have talent at every position. It's just getting the best out of the guys at those positions, and that's what I plan to do. Sometimes you have to do a mind shift with the players. You have to kind of get being a teacher, you have different behaviors that you deal with on a daily basis. Same thing in football. You have different behaviors, different attitudes, and it's finding a way to reach that player to get the best out of that player, and that's what I'm trying to do, trying to find a way to make the game fun again, because I know how talented we are. We just got to go out there and finish games like we start games. We start games pretty good, but we don't finish games the way we should.
And Robert, with your experience in so many different levels all across this country playing football, arena football, what do you expect now with Duke City in this league moving forward? They've competed. It hasn't necessarily been like it's been bad for them. They're close. So what do you expect? Kind of fans haven't seen them in this league yet going forward.
Expect a team that's going to fight to the end. The game is never over when you're thinking about the Duke City Gladiators, and that's the thing that we actually have on our side. A lot of people underestimated us coming from the CIF, wondering if we got enough talent, and wondering if we're going to be able to hang with the big dogs. We know as a team what we're capable of doing. I know as a coach how much talent we have. It's just making sure we put all three phases of the game together: offense, defense, and special teams, and getting the guys to believe in their abilities. Sometimes you can have a great player, but if he doesn't believe in the abilities that he's had, you're not going to get the best of that player. But I'm just trying my best to try to reach every player that we have to get the best of they have, so we can go out here and play gladiator football the way we know how.
You get a kicker yet?
I got two kickers.
All right.
We got 2, so we're going to make sure that part is taken care of.
All right. Well, there's $7 tickets for the game celebrating 7 years of professional football in New Mexico. It's the 7th year for Duke City Gladiators, and so the July 3rd game is themed Purple Heart and First Responders Night, and so they got all kinds of great things happening out there. You can get your tickets at DukeCityGladiators.com or Ticketmaster.com.
Robert, your focus is on coaching right now, this team, but the state of New Mexico, the film industry is really big, and I'm just wondering, are you still a stunt double and you're still looking for work, maybe backing up The Rock in his next movie?
Hey, if he calls me, I got to go. I have to go. I truly enjoyed that opportunity. Like I said, football has given me, has blessed me in so many ways. So I did get opportunity to do the movie called The Game Plan, and I don't really say too much about it, but I guess she did a little homework. But if that opportunity comes again, I tell all the guys, hey, man, they use arena players for those movies. So because the time that they actually film them, the NFL guys are in camp. So this is actually a great place to be in the arena because you never know. You may get an opportunity to be in a movie.
Well, and you may get an opportunity to win some football games, and you got that opportunity. Robert, appreciate the conversation. Best of luck to you, not only this weekend against your old coach, but throughout the rest of the season as you embark on this new chapter in your career. And I know we'll catch up with you again, but best to you, and thanks for spending some time with us.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. And, hey, we want to pack the stands this weekend because it's going to be a great game. And look for the Gladiators to come out on time.
Right on. Be well.
All right, have a great one, guys.
Robert Kent. That was good. That was good. I mean, 4 days ago, he was winning a championship as a quarterback. Got on a bus 17 hours from North Carolina to Fort Worth, and now here he is in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, and he's a head coach. Like, wow is right. All right, 505-246-0610. We're back to the phones when we get back on the opening drive at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
No jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Turbo Threads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks. Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. Datacom has portable AC units for rent. Applications include server rooms, retail outlets, healthcare facilities, laboratories, convenience stores and truck stops, events, concerts, and weddings. All of these units are 120-volt plug and play. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to datacom.com to learn more.
Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on Animal. Tellis is in on the Gladiators, said they go through coaches like the OD goes through producers. Yeah, maybe. Remember before the guy they just fired, Pig Brown? And then he never even made it to the court before getting canned, says Tellis. Yeah, Pig Brown was in after Bramante, never coached, and then it was Martino Theus, and now it is Robert Kent Jr., and he's in charge. And it's Gato Roberto, and then it's Stephanie the next day, and who knows. I guess it's somewhat analogous, huh? All right. This is going to be big because he's held for a while. Edward, good morning. Thanks for holding. You called right before a guest, and so hence the hold. What's happening?
You know, I don't mind the hold. I learn something new every day, and Robert has traversed the country. I guess that's his first name. Very nice gentleman, and he's a stand-in double for the Rock at times. What a diverse skill set, and I'm rooting. I always root for the local teams, and I'm going to root even harder for the Gladiators. By the way, Jeff, I went at one of the birthday events. You had given me a small New Mexico Bowl mini helmet. I have a nice collection of small mini helmets and actually regular helmets, signed helmets. And to their credit, the Gladiator helmet and their logo is pretty solid. I got to give them credit.
I agree.
Hey, did I hear over the last couple hours both not only No Days Off, a Belichickian reference, but also Robert said, I'm going to play and coach as long as Tom Brady's in the league.
That's correct.
I know this is award-winning quality radio. So those two data points themselves takes you guys over the top. Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Indeed. Yes. That's awesome. You know, Patrick Beverly, I have some friends, and I always share with you, sometimes I share with you guys our text threads from my other text threads during the game, and it's so awesome. I get so much comedic genius out of it. And there's some desirable qualities about Patrick Beverly, about being undrafted and overcoming some conflict in college, whatever went on with his transcripts, and then betting on himself and making it into the league and getting a good contract. But you know what? He's acted pretty boldly and thuggishly for about 5 to 7 years now, and he's been consistent. I always tell people, be whatever you are, just be consistent. That way I know what to expect. Quite honestly, you're going to be cool and gracious, be cool and gracious. You're going to be a jerk and gratifying, be self-gratifying, but just be consistent. Therefore, I can kind of navigate who you are. He's been a jerk, quite honestly, for several years. And for him to pull that off, it's uniquely who he is, but there's no room for that. And you can't act a fool for that duration of time. And then when someone retaliates or reciprocates what you're doing, then pull that off. I think a major fine should come and probably a suspension. The thing I struggle with the Clippers, and Paul George, he has gained a lot of credibility. He really delivered well. I mean, big time. And last night he didn't play that well, and that's okay. But, the narrative, I think, will dissipate. That's how hard it is to get to the NBA Finals. when LeBron was going through the East for 8 consecutive final trips, it was like, well, it's the East and it's easy, and and just to kind of get through that melee without injury or whatever else would come your way, it's amazing. KD had a performance or two this playoffs which were amazing, absolutely stellarly amazing, and he couldn't navigate through the East. Right? There's injuries, whatnot, but it happens. So I just find it interesting.
The East is tougher now than it was. There was no Nets, Giannis caliber Bucks team, and Philly, and hell, Atlanta may be the team that comes through all that. So I'm to your point's not invalid, but I think you're remiss if you don't acknowledge that the East is tougher now than it was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago.
It might be, and we might see an Atlanta Hawks team,
right? With
my 17th favorite player in the league, Herter, which probably that's my next jersey that I'm going to play. We may see an Atlanta Hawks just be the beneficiary of some injuries, and they might get to the finals. And might. And by the way, I'm kind of rooting for small market teams. Jeff, I know in your open, right, where is it Raider James or Raven James or
Bruin James?
Bruin James, yes. And he's a guy like his takes, and he's a great recruiter. I understand that. But the biggest brand in the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, have been marginally pathetic for a quarter century, and the NFL moves on. We've seen small market teams in other sports franchises move on, and they've captivated us. So I do root for the small market teams, and I'd love to see the Hawks or even the Bucks or the Suns. Those are our 3 options. Any one of those is going to be a treat for us to watch win the title this year. Hey, quickly on Coach Brown, yesterday at work, I had mentioned, because your show is so informative, that he had passed away, unfortunately, and credit to his son for coming on the day after his death and being so eloquent. That was so gracious. And we talked for about 10 minutes about Coach Brown and the impact. I work with Pius kids. I work with Academy kids, other kids across the state that have played ball in New Mexico. And it was a very, very sweet way to honor that man at where I work, right? And there was nice stories. Cool. And I'm just glad that you shared that with us. Cool. Have a great second half of the year, friends and family. I'm looking forward to it. All right, God bless, guys.
See you. His point on it's hard to get through. Did we undervalue LeBron getting to all those? How many finals in a row was it? I mean, we just talked about Greg Brown winning 6 straight, or Mike Brown winning 6 straight state championships. I mean, that's amazing. And I understand winning is different than getting there. But getting to, was it 8, 9? How many straight finals did he get to? A bunch, right? Did we undervalue that because he was going through the East?
Yes.
Fair enough. I think that's right.
Well, and he wasn't undefeated in it.
Right.
So
no, he lost more than he won.
Yeah.
When he got to the finals, when he got to the West. I think it's undervalued just because the accomplishment, we're watching how hard it is to get there, how hard it is to be healthy, how hard it is just to get through, right? The best teams going in, we all thought going into the season, Lakers and Nets. Going into the postseason, your 1 seeds were Utah and Philly, but I think we all said, well, Lakers and Nets. And then they're not there. They're not even in the conference finals, Lakers nor Nets. So maybe we did undervalue it a bit, but I will stick to, it's not an argument, I will stick to the belief that it was a lot harder getting through the West back in those days than it was getting through the East.
But ultimately, LeBron James did not win all those NBA finals. Mm-hmm. We get it. But we're sitting here talking about, is it the turnaround too quick? Are they playing too many games? The amount of games LeBron James played and didn't miss. Like, I'm not saying that all of a sudden, he's the greatest of all time. He deserves, and it's crazy to think about. We're talking about LeBron James, and if you don't like him, I think people would hopefully give him his due, but I'm not sure if they do. Like, the amount of games that man played each postseason every single year to keep his team at that level. And we're sitting here wondering, are they playing too many games? A quick turnaround.
Where do you feel he's not getting his due? Where do people not give him his due? By not calling him the greatest ever?
No, you can't even say, that's a good accomplishment without saying, well, East wasn't that good.
I think most people acknowledge, even the people who don't like LeBron, acknowledge his basketball prowess. It's not a knock on LeBron James if you think Michael Jordan's the best player of all times. It's just not. As much as Edward or somebody else wants to believe that, it's not.
I think that's what's unbelievable to me about Michael's run and then LeBron is just the night in, night out in the postseason being in those games and like doing it year after year after year. It's just, that's a wow moment.
And that's what makes you in that conversation. Look, LeBron James is one of the best players ever. I don't think it's a secret. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I respect his game. I think what he did getting to what was it, 8 straight NBA Finals is amazing. I don't think by saying that the East was an easier path than the West is a knock on it, is not giving him his due. He got there. It's amazing. And watching how hard it is and how many great teams or really good teams this year didn't even get to the conference finals shows how hard that was, what an accomplishment it was. And he did it with 3 different groups, right? With Cleveland, then Miami, then back to Cleveland. But it's not a knock on LeBron to say, he's a great player. It's just I think Michael Jordan's better, whatever. 505-246-0610. We're going to go back and hear more of what you have to say. 888-922-0610. So I went over to All In Autographs yesterday. I spent 2 hours there. Like, what? No, I spent 2 hours at All In Autographs looking around at the unbelievable quantity and quality of what they've got. The memorabilia, the music, Elvis Presley signed guitar, and Fleetwood Mac stuff, and a signed picture of Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio, and it's a Prince signed piece. It's unbelievable. Go check out what is one of the nicest, most complete, beautiful memorabilia stores I've seen anywhere. Not just in Albuquerque. I've seen anywhere. This is a national world-class store. It's All In Autographs at 2225 Wyoming, Southeast. It's just to the south of Wyoming. Northeast, just to the south of Wyoming. They open at 11 o'clock Wednesday through Sunday. Sports memorabilia like you've rarely ever seen. But then the collection of movie memorabilia and history stuff, like a White House humidor. The jerseys, the autographs, the helmets, the pictures, it's insane. Go check them out. If you're looking for that different gift, that special gift, that wow gift, I got your spot, man. It is All In Autographs at 2225 Wyoming, Northeast. 505-504-7575 is the number. You can look at them online, and you'll start to get an idea. allinautographs.com. You can rent the place out for an event. And they just locked in Steve Garvey. He's going to be in town. The former Dodger greats coming to the Albuquerque Home and Garden Show Sunday, August 15th from 10 to 11:30. And then that afternoon at 1 to 3:30, he'll be over at All In Autographs to sign. And you can meet him. The place is special. It's a museum, and you can take part of it home. All In Autographs. Do yourself a favor. Get over there, 2225 Wyoming, Northeast. Drive, Jeff Siembieda, JJ Buck. Micah, Josh produces for you today over on the ProView Network side, where you can watch the show worldwide on ProViewNetworks.com or statewide at Comcast Channel 26.
Hey, welcome to the Steve Davis Show. Good morning and welcome to Sports Desk live on Comcast Channel 26.
Welcome to The Point with Nick Rich.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 10, America Talking Out.
I'm Pastor Flora Padilla of Mending Broken Hearts.
Welcome to Henry T. Game Face Live, Comcast 26, and Big Bad ProView Network.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Welcome to Local Focus with Sebastian Noel.
Welcome, sports fans. It's that time of the week again. You are watching the Weekly Rundown.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Network.
Hello, I'm Steve Davis. You are watching Public Access TV.
Here's a 1-2. That's lifted, well hit into the gap. This might clear the bases. It's going to bounce off the wall, and it will clear the bases. A bases clearing double off the bat of Nico Barella. Got the glove on it. Squeezes for a second. That's tapped on the ground. Might be Academic. They'll flip it to first in time for the double play ball. Huge lead. There's the pitch. It's low. Runner going on a delayed steal, and he's going to be out at second. One, two. The runner moving. It's pulled down the line. This might be trouble, and it's a fair ball. Sandoval coming around. Coach Pineda going to send him to the plate. Here comes the tying run, and he scores. Sandoval. The throw gets away. Cooper will go to second base, and we're all tied at 6 as Sandoval scampers in.
Hit so far. That ball is driven deep to right center field, and it's gone. Second home run of the inning for the Cougars. They've got 5 runs in, and Siembieda has come roaring back here at the top of the 3rd inning. 2-run home run for Jalen Montez.
Long look in. There's a pitch. That's in the air. In shallow right. Very aggressive as Gerard Pineda will have a play at the plate. Oh, what a hose in right. The ball was waiting for him as he came home, and he was dead to rights.
2-2, nobody out. 2 runs in. There's the pitch, and that's up the middle. No, right to Francois. Back to second for a double play. That's a good play by Francois.
All right, 2460610 to get in. Would love for your comments. The NBA stuff is interesting. Suns are in the finals. They beat the Clippers last night, 130-103. They'll wait for the winner, the survivor of the Hawks and Bucks. And somebody called earlier. It was Bruin James. He's like, yeah, who cares? You know, Lakers aren't in it. I don't care. They're boring. I'm like, really? What is boring? This goes. Remember when people used to say the Spurs were boring? And I'm like, really? Are they? Because there's no controversy. Because they do things relatively cleanly, fundamentally.
Well, just you need to explain the Suns story to people.
Well, but for a guy like Bruin James,
he's probably not going to listen because LA's not involved,
right?
And that's going to happen. But the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul's a roller coaster because Chris Paul is going to get a lot of love, rightfully so. But he's also had his missteps.
No, that's right.
Hasn't been the most likable guy in the league. So to me, that's a very intriguing piece of how people root for or against Chris Paul in this specific finals with this Suns team. Because overall, this Phoenix team is likable. When we hear so much about the right way, this is the way you're supposed to build a championship team. You shouldn't buy stars, this or that. Well, this franchise put it together through the draft, acquired solid veteran pieces, and then swung for the fences with a deal that people thought was terrible at the time, and ended up being the reason why they're in the NBA Finals. So this is a fascinating Suns story as a franchise that 3 years ago was one of the worst teams in the league, and now could be the favorites to win the championship.
But on top of that, watch them. What's boring about watching them? Like, tell me what's boring about watching that. Like, if you're just talking basketball,
130 points last night.
Tell me what's boring about watching Devin Booker, who people are comparing to Kobe. What's boring watching about? I know. Temper that. I got that. I'm down. But tell you what's boring about watching an emerging big man. What's boring about watching a Hall of Fame point guard? By the way, they play defense. Okay, they're not your team. I'm down with that. But do we have to have the Dodgers and Yankees in the World Series? What if this year's World Series is the Padres and the Athletics?
Then it doesn't exist,
right? Tommy, how you living? Hello, Tommy. Tommy hung up on me. Oof. That wasn't me, man. Now I got to hang up that. Oof is right. Oof. I'd love your thoughts on it, man. I just, and there's no Kawhi. Gus says on Kawhi, Jeff, we knew what was wrong with the guy from Milwaukee in ours. Giannis. Have we ever found out why the Clippers star didn't play? He's got a knee injury. By the way, on Giannis, there is no structural damage, despite what whoever it was that sent us that text yesterday insisted. The Bucks are telling us that there is no structural damage. Now, he will not play tonight, but they have not ruled him out for the rest of the series, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Tonight, they're playing, what is this, Game 5? So we're back in Atlanta tonight? Yeah. Yeah, 2-2, 1-1-1.
Milwaukee.
It's 2-3-2. Oh, yeah. We're in Milwaukee tonight. Yeah. We're in Milwaukee tonight. But what like the Kawhi injury is really interesting. It's as mysterious as he is.
Yeah, and that is the one question mark with Kawhi is availability. Because to me, because that it's hard to hold injuries against players because things happen, but I don't know how Kawhi can't be in the Anthony Davis conversation.
Because he's won 2 championships. That's why. I mean, that's really the only reason.
What happened in San Antonio, how does Kawhi skate on that?
Yep.
Like, he ran away from the basketball team.
Yeah, because he's won 2 championships.
And he didn't want the injury to, you had some serious quad issues. That is that potentially playing a factor into his knee. I'm not sure which one it was.
I'll tell you how he skates on this one, because it's still mysterious. The San Antonio issue is still mysterious. His issue was, you're trying to force me back, and your doctors are telling me to play, and my doctors are saying I can't, and that's where they got sideways. That wasn't him just walking away because I don't like the team. That was, I'm hurt. They're telling me, no, you're not. And I'm telling you, look, I'm hurt. My doctors say I can't play. Your doctors are saying, well, yeah, I should. That's where that thing went sideways. And that's why, at least there's another side to that story.
Because I don't think that's what it was. I don't think San Antonio was forcing him to play. They were just trying to get on the same page with him, and he was hiding in a different city from their team.
He went to New York. Yeah, he went away. I'm not telling you he should skate. I'm telling you that's kind of why there might be some of this. All right, I'll try this again. Hello, Tommy.
Hey, guys, sorry about that. Time to truth back at you. I kind of got knocked off the line there. The thing about you mentioning Leonard with San Antonio, since I'm a Spurs fan, I think San Antonio should have showed more patience. I think his calf was hurt, and they weren't showing any patience. And if you have a bad calf, it could lead to an Achilles tear. So I'm so disappointed in San Antonio because they usually are very good with their people and their players, and Popovich is great, but they blew that one. And what did they do? They didn't send him to Cali where he wanted to go. They sent him to basketball hell in Toronto, and he won a ring. So good for him. These guys talking about LeBron saying all this, he's good. They're just jealous because they can't beat him. This is the thing. LeBron, I think LeBron could play back in the 80s or 90s because he's physical. A lot of guys now I don't think could because they're crybabies and they're soft. Do I think Michael would love playing right now? Oh, yes. No hand checking, no defense. Michael would love it. Kobe would love it right now if he was in his prime and if he was still around. Rest in peace. So you got to look at players. Can they play in different areas? That's why I look at all the time. LeBron is in my top 5. He took Cleveland. They're lousy. What was that one year he took them to the finals? Who did he have? Who was his second? Who was his Robin? Did he have a Robin?
No, there was no Robin. No. Kyrie was hurt. Everybody was hurt. He had Matthew Dellavedova, and he had J.R. Smith, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's in my top 5. I still have Michael up there on top of the mountain, but LeBron's grabbing at his feet. Then Kobe's up there. Then Kareem, I still think is the greatest center of all time. Shaq to me was elbow and dunk. Couldn't shoot. Played defense early when he was in Orlando, and he played in L.A. Then he got out of shape, and that's what Kobe was always complaining about him. But I think Kareem's the greatest center. Probably, I think Kareem. Let me ask you this: is he the better center for the Lakers of all time? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Him and Wilt. And I say that just skill set because Shaq was so good and dominant because of physical prowess. But I agree with you on shot, being able to get shots. Like Shaq changed everything. He did play defense. He was an incredible rebounder. He was just so physically just huge.
But most of the time, most people, when he would do his shot, he would elbow people out of the way and dunk. Yeah. And most of the time, that should have been called anyway. They never called it off.
Get out of my way.
He would kill people with his elbow.
But by the same token, how much did he get fouled and it never got called because he was so big and people beat the crap out of him? And
Hagershot.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad what happened. Chris Paul put the team on his back. And he's kind of like, I want to see the Suns win a championship because they never won one. They've been there in '92. He never won when Milwaukee won it back in the 70s, early 70s. So I'm kind of pulling for them just because Paul has been through so much. I want to see him win it all. And they won it in 6, so my prediction was right. And Milwaukee hopefully wins in 6 too. Tell your boy there, no crying. It's a waste of suffering. Everything's going to be okay. And I will leave you on this road. I went to New Mail because you had that commercial for New Mail, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I went there, and guess what, man?
What?
It fell off. It fell off. No, I'm just kidding. Haven't been there yet. I'm going to try it, though, for your advice, because you know what? The syringe with the Mag Dog that I usually use to plug into my system, not working anymore.
That doesn't work.
I got to try something else.
That doesn't work. All right.
All right, guys, I'm out. Bye.
I hope it stays on. See ya. What the hell? Like I woke up next to it. What? No, that's not okay. 505-246-0610. That is also the NMDOT text line. By the way, if you like concerts and want to go, you want to go see the Foo Fighters or Dierks Bentley or Brad Paisley, we've got tickets for you. Send the word Foo, F-O-O, or Dierks, D-I-E-R-K-S, or Brad, B-R-A-D. Text that to the NMDOT text line at 505-246-0610, and you will be entered for a chance to win tickets to those concerts. Courtesy of your good friend Gatlo Roberto at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
0-1 to Araceli Morales. There's the pitch. Morales swings, hits a Vela. What a catch by Vela in right field. Vela coming to her, running to her left and diving.
This one swing, it's going to go straight. Let's see if it falls, and it looks like the catch was made, and indeed it was for the third out. Sprawling was Kayla Reed for the third out. What a play. Garcia prepares, deals, and she swings it. This one looks ding dong doink. Yabba dabba doo. Grand slam by Mia Flores. Four ribbies for Mia as she just unleashed on that softball.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Dream Style Roofing tops them all. When your roof's worn out and needs to be replaced, we're gonna do it right, put a smile on your face. They're at home, things are looking up when you get your roof done by someone you can trust. Dream Style, a company name that's been around forever. No one does it better. You need a new roof, you know who to call. Dream Style Roofing tops them all.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks. DCE Systems want to help schools reopen and keep students, teachers, and staff safe. New Mexico's distributor of no-valent Shield Plus, an antimicrobial hand sanitizer that lasts 24 hours. That's right, 24 hours. 1 liter will provide approximately 2,000 individual applications. Call Louis Ruffin today at 505-507-7722 or go to DCESystemsInc.com to learn more. DCE Systems is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend. Visit clarkspet.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke.
Animal. Toss, no moss. Clips, no moss either. They're done. Suns beat them 130 to 103 yesterday. All right, 505-246-0610. I got 2 lines open. Let's go to it before we get out of here today. Vince, how does that happen? Like literally as I hit the button, he's held through the whole break, and as soon as I hit the button, he gone. Hello, Terry. Hello,
Good morning,
Terry.
guys.
What's up?
Yeah, same old. I'm just meeting my Craig Ferguson call-in time. So
that's good.
They're making things up earlier in the week. Venmo would have really come in handy for me 40 years ago. Instead of having to do the walk of shame and go in to get money to pay my bookie from the bank, probably would have made life a lot easier. But that's part of life. And JJ, be patient. After Tuesday, I'm working on getting you a Bronny's paper towel commercial. So hopefully that pays off for you. And so we go back to the Phoenix Suns, the 75-76 team that made the finals and lost to Boston. They also had the Van Arsdale twins. Ooh. And I always thought, basketball was an indoor sport. But those guys would come out with tans where I'm like, geez, so they just hang out at the pool all day. And Alvin Adams, from back then, he went hardship after his junior year. And the ironic part of that, his dad was in the oil business. But the rules back then, again, he wanted to leave after a junior year, so they had created that in-between year. So he claimed he was having hardship. I don't think his dad was a grease monkey, but, from that standpoint of having to get out of there. So, third time for Phoenix being in the finals, good thing. New blood. I think it'll be an entertaining finals no matter what. And we'll see who survives Milwaukee and Atlanta. On the ending note, I felt like a suspended major league pitcher because I didn't have to put any spider poop on my belt, but I still got my check yesterday, and I just hang out at home. Always nice to be retired and get your pension check. So I still don't see how that'll be a deterrent. And get paid, stay home.
Retired or suspended? Suspended, I believe, is what you're looking at.
There's so I'm just, like we talked about, I can't go cut down trees, so I just hang out the house and the check comes in. So not a big deterrent. So so we do that, and next week I'll get another retirement check, and I'll be still be just like the suspended players, stay home, collect money. But who knows if they'll figure that out.
All right.
But okay, you guys have a good one. Take care.
All right. Terry called at 505-246. 0610. So that's we got one guy suspended on this? One guy, right? The Mariners guy?
Soon to be suspended. Impaling the suspension.
Okay. And he'll sit out and he'll get paid. That's the way it is, right? That's the Major League Baseball's way.
So what they're hoping is that it's the pressure of the player that's suspended, you lose that roster spot.
Oh, really?
For 10 days. Yeah, I believe that is.
That is real. All right. Hey, did you see the crash at the Tour de France?
Which one?
The big one where the woman was out there and she held the sign out and she stepped out into the lane. It's a fair question, by the way. Which one? And she hit a rider, and you didn't see that?
Seeing it now.
So
my God.
I guess they arrested her finally. They tracked her down. It's a 30-year-old French woman, and she's at the Brittany region in France. But the Tour is withdrawing their complaint. Quote, the story has been blown out of proportion, but we wish to remind everyone of the safety rules of the race. If you come to the Tour, you hold your kids, you hold your pet, don't cross the road carelessly, and above all, you respect the riders. They're the ones worthy of live TV.
How do you not just, at that point, be like, hold up?
You hadn't seen that yet?
No.
So this woman steps out into, I don't know what the hell her sign says, but obviously it was really important. She stepped out into the road.
Be like, sorry, guys, we're going to have to restart.
Well, everybody, because it was like after the first, 8-10 riders
of the field is just on the ground.
Everybody's down, crumbled, boom. The sign read, Allez, op, homme. I don't know. It's French and German for go, grandpa, and grandma. That was what her sign said. And so she's holding out go, grandma, and grandpa, and got out into, you haven't seen this either?
No, I've seen it.
She steps they arrested her and they were gonna press charges. By the way, they should.
Well,
no, precedent.
No. The Tour de France is partly to blame because they allow the spectators right up to the very line with no fencing.
They do, as does basketball, as does golf, as does, right? I mean, they're not the only one. Should they fence the whole entirety of the country? Well, how could you fence the entirety of that race?
I'm just saying, bicycles are a whole lot different than somebody out in the fairway playing golf.
Oh, I'll give you that. Okay. Are they that different?
There's kinetic energy involved.
I'll give you that. And now that you're going science, you're right. Okay. And so what we saw was ridiculous.
Yes.
You want to explain to me how you're fencing off the entirety of the Tour de France? Because I'm listening.
They're a big organization. They can figure it out.
First off, how do you feel if you're the guy that lost to a cardboard sign?
Oh, geez. I would be so mad.
Like you got beat by a cardboard sign.
Yeah. No, I would be so mad. I would be close to be.
I'm talking a brick wall.
Illegal law.
I'm talking a baseball bat. It's cardboard sign.
Yeah. No, anything. For any spectator to.
She is out there so far, dude. She her feet are on the road.
She had to have stuck it out at the last second.
Well, I mean, she's out there.
Yep. Her foot was on the restricted circle. That's a block. And one.
And dude gets taken down by the cardboard sign. I guess he got some arm. He goes down, and the whole field goes down. Like to your point, could there be a rope? Like in golf, there's a rope.
Something. But there was nothing.
JJ, how many miles is this? I mean, we're talking about basically the whole damn country, right?
Yeah, this was right at the start.
I don't know how you control this. And by the way, they've been doing this race for decades.
Yes, they have.
And they've been doing it this way, and I don't believe they've had a lot of incidents like this. People get bolder and dumber as we move on.
Yes, they do.
And so you have this, and now, well, we got to we got to fence off the whole country. Like, you can't. As big an organization as they are, you can't fence off the whole damn country. You can't. Now, could they have ropes?
You could be better at the start.
Yeah, they could be better at the start.
Because that was, I don't know how you let that continue, man. You took out 80% of the field.
Yeah, dudes are tumbled everywhere. All right. Thanks to Danny Brown and Robert Kent. Both of them guested on our show.
And Sign Lady took a bit of a hit, though.
Sign Lady should have taken a bit of a hit, and then she disappeared.
It's just like looking up at the camera.
And then she's out. Gone. And the whole thing, I mean, it's like it's unbelievable how the whole thing, the aerial view is insane. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd after that. Trulio and Carlisle with the Sports Bar at 4. You get Isotopes Baseball at 6:15 against El Paso. We're back tomorrow morning with
Peter locked
Radio.
into the pedals, and you can't pull your feet down. You're just,
Aaron, great work. Gato Roberto, have a day. You're gonna be careful on your bike today. Avoid the cardboard signs, please.
Full body functional fitness.
Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.